from the soul with it. Yeah.
So NBA insider Amin Elhassan was on ESPN LA radio with Keyshawn Johnson and Travis Rogers, and they were talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. Amin was asked about the Lakers' acquisition of Tyson Chandler and how he thinks Tyson fared in his first game. His response was, Tyson Chandler is like a smart JaVale McGee. And I'm like, a smart JaVale McGee? So that means you are saying JaVale McGee is stupid? Savage response, okay. But no, I don't think he really meant it like that. I think that because he went on to say that Tyson Chandler is in the right place at the right time. He's active on the boards. He's a decent finisher, but he's not as athletic as he once was. So Amin was asked, should the Lakers fans be super excited after one game? And he was like, well, I mean, it's not like they got Joel Embiid. And I'm like, respect, brother, respect. So then Travis Rogers played the audio of Stephen A. Smith saying that Brandon Ingram is just a smokescreen for Magic Johnson, and he built them up and hyped him up so Brandon Ingram could have more trade value. And Stephen A. Smith saying that Kuzma is the second star, not Brandon Ingram, and says that everybody could be traded except Josh Hart and Kuzma. So that is when Amin Elhassan responded by saying that that was pretty interesting. He says that Kuzma is more polished right now, but Ingram is a better defender and has more upside. He says Ingram isn't a scorer like Kuzma, and he thinks Kuzma is a better fit with LeBron because of his ability to play off the ball, the spacing, cutting, etc. And says Ingram not so much. So right before Amin could finish his statement, the phone hung up. And I'm like, this man got bad service, bruh. How you gonna work for ESPN making all that money with an old Boost mobile flip phone? Okay. So he called back and Travis Rogers asked him, generally speaking, when you are evaluating a player, typically how long does it take before they become a star? So that is when Amin said that you really can't tell, and how people may have watched Victor Oladipo and said, you know, basically what if people said in Victor Oladipo's third year, this is just what he's going to be and he's not going to be nothing more. You know, he compared it to Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler becoming a star late. He mentioned how Steve Nash became a star late, but then says that all the players that he named put in the work. He says, you're not going to become great by playing Fortnite all day. So that's when Keyshawn Johnson asked Amin Elhassan, are you not ready to give up on Brandon Ingram yet? And here's what his response was. I'm not ready to give up on him. No. Now, if you are saying that we have to trade one of these guys so we could get an all NBA player in here, that's a different conversation. So then we can sit down and say, okay, who we rather have, Kuzma or Ingram? If you are telling me one of the guys we are going to get is elite defensively, let's say for instance, Kawhi Leonard, then I might be willing to give up Brandon Ingram because guess what? I already have a great defensive wing over here in Kawhi Leonard who does it way better than Ingram could possibly ever do. So that is when Amin Elhassan was asked, would he trade Brandon Ingram for Bradley Beal? So that is when he said, probably not. He said, ask yourself, is he that much better than Brandon Ingram? So if you guys would like to hear the full audio, the link is in the description box. Listen, man. These NBA insiders, whoever the ESPN analysts, whatever you want to call them, they pretty much go out and say the exact same thing that I said because I feel the exact same way. If I had to trade Brandon Ingram for Kawhi Leonard, I would do it in a heartbeat. You know, we already know that Kuzma is a better fit with LeBron James. But based on what I've seen from Kuzma, I just don't think he's physically gifted enough to, you know, to be able to create his own shot. He doesn't play elite defense. And I really like Kuzma, and I was wrong about him. You know, I'll admit that. I think that he's a solid role player, but I don't think he could be an elite second option. I'm just not sold on that yet. And as far as comparing Ingram to Oladipo or Jimmy Butler, the one thing that he failed to mention is those guys didn't play for the Lakers where it's much more pressure. Then you got to realize Jimmy Butler didn't play with LeBron James. So he's not playing with an elite superstar caliber player who dominates the ball and who is at the stage of his career where he doesn't even really care about defense. So it's going to stunt his growth. To whereas Derrick Rose was injured almost every week. It allowed him to get minutes and develop. I think the only way that works is if you snatch the torch. and you're putting in that work. And I'm really happy that he brought up players putting in work and playing Fortnite. I really think he was talking about Brandon Ingram though, but you know, he said he wasn't. But I think it was really just indirect. And like, as I look at Ingram game, I just don't think it has evolved in my opinion. You know, I just got finished watching the video on Facebook, and it was Rajon Rondo. He was trying to give Brandon Ingram, they was all on the bench. It was him sitting down on the bench, and there was Kyle Kuzma sitting right beside him. Kyle Kuzma is locked in listening to Rajon Rondo, and like Rondo is trying to give him advice. He's trying to coach him. It's like Brandon Ingram is just like looking like, I don't care. You know, he just seemed like he didn't care. His body language read, oh, you're not the coach. He looked disengaged. You have Rajon Rondo, a great point guard who people praise for his high level, his high IQ. Ingram showed to me, and a lot of people in the comment box were saying he just looked like he didn't care. And I got that when he fought Chris Paul and was fighting James Harden, etc. I think he is content where he is. And he's not focused on trying to be a star. I see too many players who seem like they're trying to go at Brandon Ingram. And it's like the way Ingram responds, the way he responds is more so beta male energy. When people criticize him in the media, and it's like he doesn't read that and respond with like a 47-point game or go back. He reminds me of Karl Anthony Towns. Just attitude wise, at least show us that you arrived and that it's more than potential, it's greatness. And it's like, I haven't seen greatness. I don't want to wait until you play a low-level team, a team that you should defeat with flying colors like the Phoenix Suns, for you to have a 37 or 40-point game. I want to see that versus elite teams. At least show us that you have arrived. And if I'm a GM and the Raptor says, hey, I'm willing to give you Kawhi Leonard, but you have to give me Ingram, Kuzma, Lonzo, some draft picks, I'm trading it. You know, I'm trading it, no hesitation. And I really like Kuzma. He's one of my favorite Lakers. But they just seem like all of them, even including Lonzo, it seemed like they more about having fun and being content and playing games and having fun more so than, you know, it's like they're content with being slightly above average. But if I had to keep them, and let's say I had no choice, then fine. I mean, I have no choice. But I felt like, you know, we've lost terribly 5 seasons straight, and the timing is just bad. You know, with LeBron being here, so it's unfortunately, it's hard for us to be patient. The only reason I would keep Josh Hart because he shows up on both ends of the floor, and you can't question his heart. And neither can Kyle Kuzma, but I just don't think that he doesn't have the physical gifts that warrant him staying on the team, or maybe he could be a role player. But I think that Josh Hart would be a great role player behind the starting shooting guard. And honestly, I don't think Victor Oladipo is all that special either. I would rather have Paul George than Victor Oladipo, but I still think the Pacers got a good deal. And as far as Bradley Beal not being much better than Brandon Ingram, I disagree. Defensively, Ingram is much more better. He has like a slight edge, but offensively, it's not even close. Bradley Beal is obviously better. But, you know, he did mention Bradley Beal's contract. I believe it would be too much. I'm not sure, but I don't think Bradley Beal would guarantee the Lakers making the playoffs. And, I mean, I agree. I wouldn't trade Ingram. At this point, I wouldn't trade Ingram for Beal because I think you need an elite level player in order to defeat those teams in the West. And like I said, unless the Lakers want a real chance and guaranteeing them a playoff spot and advance into the Western Conference Finals, they have to trade for Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard. It's just that simple. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Okay.